came in from my OBS that my stream wasn't working properly. Very unfortunate, but you know, this is the second time this has happened already. We'll roll with it. We're just gonna have cut off the start of this game. For those of you who are just joining the stream, as it rolls out in 6 minutes from now, this is in fact not regular Quest Priest. This is Whizbang Quest Priest. So basically inferior Quest Priest against what should be a very favored Shaman deck. Saturnight Chain Gang. Zola lets him get yet another Chain Gang for some consistency's sake. He's gonna get at least 3 Chain Gang procs for a Shutterwalk now, which is huge whenever he ends up drawing into Grumble and Shutterwalk and being able to go off. Psychic Scream is pretty bad here. You really don't want to be giving him even more Saranites and stuff to play with, but it's a pretty awkward hand. I would have actually maybe liked to see a Power Word Replicate on the Loot Hoarder. 5 mana, 5/5, draw a card is, you know, pretty strong. But
yeah, it's interesting because I think at this point Mike really should be trying to put more pressure on the board. Like,
right, exactly.
Really has free reign to do whatever he wants. Oh, there comes Power Replicate.
Right, and then this just came out on the on a random Devil Source of a Loot Hoarder, so he just misses out on some card draw there, which is unfortunate. I'm expecting to see maybe even Farsight to dig. Might also see Acolyte, might also see Life Drinker Serenite. All of these are fairly reasonable plays. Looks like it will be Life Drinker. He'll trade off into the damaged Devasaur and then Serenite up. Power Word Shield to dig is always good. The big win conditions for this Priest deck are to get either ridiculous value off Zarek Master Cloner, especially after that we've already seen Hexes and Earthshocks committed, or to get crazy value off Zarek's Cloning Gallery. And neither of those are in hand right now, so we're just gonna see a Devasaur keep hitting in. And now just a random 4/6 Reckless Experimenter. Farsight to dig makes a lot of sense. Another Earthshock. We're probably not gonna see it committed yet. We may see a save for like a Zarek or something. Looks like he is considering Earthshocking. I would be fine with the Earthshock, clean up like the Devasaur or something, but no, looks like he's just gonna hit face. He's not really worried about these minions, and I don't blame him. Especially if the Priest gets a little floody, MC Tech gets value too. These Shadow Word Deaths are just totally
irrelevant.
Yeah. Shutterwalk Shaman doesn't put out big minions until Grumble, and Grumble is basically the beginning of the end. So maybe we'll see another not Cloning Gallery, Power Word Replicate come out just to make some more minions, but again, it's a very dead hand for the Priest player.
I mean, that's unfortunate how Priest is in some matchups when he just comes up against deck which just he doesn't have any answers for.
It's an unfortunate fact of how poorly constructed the Whizbang, this Whizbang Priest recipe is. I'd say it's definitely more of that than the deck itself, but Adithya is continuing to be content just to draw a bunch, or just to play a bunch of stuff that's going to draw him cards and get him closer to his win condition. Although more than halfway through the deck and not finding either of his remaining combo pieces in Grumble and Shutterwalk yet is a little unfortunate. We have a Dead Ringer here, which is basically just going to insta-cycle because it'll die to the Reckless Experimenter effect, but you could play Dead Ringer and then Power Word Replicate on it. The Replica... I'm not actually sure if the Replica dies. I think the Replica might, if it's a debuff on the Dead Ringer. But, let's get real here. No one plays Priest in this meta. Priest is like the deadest class.
Sure, but at this point you can start to see how Mike may be able to take initiative on the board again and start to put pressure on Adithya, especially if he hasn't drawn any of his combo pieces in the next couple turns.
The problem is, when you don't have combo pieces in this Shaman deck, the rest of the deck is removal and heal. And so, we're still going to see the same problem here. He is going to try to push some face damage, but this is, ooh, he gets the Zarek Master Cloner. Alright, that could get big. He has, if the Reckless Experimenter isn't dealt with, he has 2 Vivid Nightmares to combo the Master Cloner. Ooh, Grumble
Oh,
Earthshaker
there's
shows
Grumble.
up. That's a big deal. Curious whether or not he's gonna maybe just... this looks like a Lightning Storm setup. Yep. Lightning Storm, Grumble, and Replay Manatide is what I'm expecting to see here. And
So I mean,
Grumble Manatide is what happens. Sorry, go on.
at this point, all Adithya is looking to do is get Shutterwalk, isn't he?
Yep, draw Shutterwalk, win game. That's exactly what it is. And so, yeah, we might see like Zarek Master Cloner shenanigans. It wouldn't be terrible, but I believe with Vivid Nightmare, both copies end up resummoning. So you can get some really cool value out of Master Cloner. I think it's a... Yep, both of them are ready to clone themselves. So yeah, like you can do some cool things here. It's just, it's a little slow. And one of them's probably gonna get silenced.
One of them's definitely getting silenced.
Yep. Fun fact, so if the Vivid Nightmare summons it as a minion with maximum 1 health, the Earth Shock would have restored it to 5 health and not killed it. But since Vivid Nightmare is quote-unquote better than that and summons it at 1 out of the maximum 5 health, it remains on 5 health after the silence, or it remains on 1 health after the silence and then dies. Just a little bit of Earth Shock interaction for if anyone's encountered this in the past. I'm surprised to see Mike not kill the Manatide here, but I guess he's like, if you draw Shutterwalk, you draw Shutterwalk. We gotta put on pressure and try to win this game right here, right now.
Telephos coming out 10 turns later than he would have
I
liked.
guess that's pretty irrelevant, but I mean, it also doesn't matter that much in this matchup. Alright, looks like the stream is working this time, thankfully. And yeah,
Shutterwalk just buys on the board.
Yep, Shutterwalk has been found. Healing Rain restored to 30 HP. This is looking a little bit grim. Looks like Obsidian statues coming down. Now, the game is not over yet by any means, by the way. I should mention that. While it is very likely that the Shaman player wins now, it is possible that the Grumble effect goes off before any of the Saronite effects, and therefore it just ends up with a pile of Shutterwalks, but basically no way of like chaining it. He's already used Zola, which is like his only other way of getting additional Shutterwalks if that does happen. But given that there have been three Saronite procs, it's reasonably likely that it is going to be Saronites happening first.
And we'll just see how it turns out.
Yep. And my jaws that bite, my claws that catch. Get Saronite first. Easy game, easy life. 2 Saronites. All 3 Saronites, and now he has 3 1-mana Shutterwalks in hand. He even has the coin to enable him to play 2 more this turn. MC Tech effect. Like, yep. Alright, that's game. Good times.
Oh, that's just a cavalcade of destruction.
Yep. The jaws are biting and the claws are catching. Although it's fun that all the glacial shards are going face.
They know which place is the best.
Yep.
And Hearthstone Solitaire at its finest.
Yeah. Honestly impressed that Mike's sitting through this. This is usually where I rage quit, potentially uninstall and or throw my device out the window.
But Mike has honor. He knows he was thoroughly outplayed.
Thoroughly out RNG. There's some pretty good Whizbang decks. Like if he got the Spell Hunter Whizbang variant, for example, he could totally outpace the Shutterwalk deck. Unfortunately, the slow and probably worst Whizbang deck was the one he ended up getting, and so yeah.
Yeah, that was the point, like in mid game especially, where there was a real chance for Mike to put pressure on Adithya, and the deck just was not capable of it.
Yeah, basically. Alright, here we're gonna see 10 more Shutterwalks come down this turn and end the game. Like, that's literally what's about to happen.
To be fair, there is a chance
No,
Adithya.
there is
No,
not.
no, no, there isn't. Excuse me.
I mean, there's a chance he ropes and he wins next turn instead of this turn.
It's the principle of the thing. Oh, there comes the manner well done. We're just going through the motions, ladies and gentlemen.
My jaws that bite, my claws that catch. My jaws that bite, my claws that catch.
At this point, we're just waiting for the RNG to bless us with Light Drinker procs.
Well, I mean, the Life Drinker procs always happen. It's just ordering. These Zola procs are actually a little annoying in that they're cluttering up his head as 9 mana Shutterwalks instead of 1 mana ones, but... yeah. Honestly, there's no commentary necessary here. I'm just sitting here watching this clown fiesta.
Just enjoy the spectacle, as it were.
Oh wait, I can click these cards to make the animations go faster.
Wasn't there a bug with Shutterlock earlier on?
Yeah, they finally remedied that.
Spin the wheel. When will Light Drinker proc come? Oh, there we go.
And that is game 1. In fairness, losing Whizbang, while terrible for memes, is not a massive loss in terms of the strength of his lineup. And so it's not exactly unexpected, although it would have been nice to see Whizbang pull out a win, potentially with, for example, like the Mech Paladin or the Spell Hunter list that are much better than this horrific Priest one. And we'll see what he's going to queue into next, into the Shutterwalk Shaman. It is going to be the Evil Warlock. Even Warlock. It is pretty evil too. Not gonna lie, but yeah.
Yo, Kevin, I just gotta let you know I gotta go right now. I will.
That's perfectly fine. Thank
See you
you
later,
for
bye,
casting
later.
that Clown Fiesta of a game. I'll catch you later.
It was a pleasure to watch.
Alrighty. We're going back to solo cast land. Let's do this. And oh boy, that is a tale of two openers. Got Kaliseth on one side and a bunch of dead shit on the other. Good times. Inconceivable. And Kaliseth's gonna come out on 2. I'm always intrigued by the emote game. Some people emote well when they're playing Kaliseth on 2, some people emote well played, and some people prefer just strong silence. On the other side, we do see Twilight Drakes, which Twilight Drakes are good cards, they put on a lot of pressure. But he's got to be worried playing them just because he knows that his opponent is running double Earthshock. He would be much happier if he pulled Mountain Giant. When going second on Even Lock, you can play Mountain Giant on 3, and given that there are 2 Mountain Giants in deck and he's already tapped 9 cards, there's a pretty high chance he ends up getting one. Unfortunately, he doesn't. Twilight Drake comes down. Fortunately for him, Earthshock is not in hand, and so it looks like we may be saying Hero Power Glacial Shard. No, he's not even going to Glacial Shard. After getting the Stoneclaw Totem, the Taunt Totem, he's like, I don't need to commit a Glacial Shard this turn. The Taunt Totem. On the other side, Mountain Giant continues to elude Mike, but he sees that there's no Earthshock, so he's actually much happier playing the second Twilight Drake now. Earthshock continues to not show up, but Kaliseth boosted Saronite Chain Gang is very strong. We may see Saronite and Glacial Shard, or potentially just a standalone Saronite. Looks like it is just gonna be standalone Saturnight, and so these chain gangs are gonna die for not all that much damage, but getting them down to 6 HP does mean that a spell damage boosted Electra Lightning Storm is going to sweep them, so I do like this. On the other side, Mike continues to not have a great play. I would like to see a life tap here. He can afford to draw to 10, and then he has a couple of things that he can play. Especially the Shroom Brewer healing one of the Twilight Drakes would be pretty strong. And pulling Mountain Giant, he has got to be happy with. Definitely, you definitely play the Mountain Giant here. And yeah, from his point of view, this looks pretty good. Unfortunately, this board is about to die to Electro Lightning Storm. Apparently it's not about to die to Electro Lightning Storm. It may be that he's trying to get more value out of Mind Control Tech, but Electro Lightning Storm is definitely a very strong clear, and honestly, Warlock has committed a lot of resources to this board. If you look at the top end of the Warlock curve, there is Lich King, one additional Mountain Giant, and then you're going down to one copy of Dread Inferno and Gen Greymane. And suddenly, like, those aren't particularly intimidating minions. Also, I guess 2 copies of Hooked Reaver. But, like, using Electro Lightning Storm to clear 2 Twilight Drakes and have a 1 in 4 of killing a Mountain Giant, otherwise the Caliseth goes in, honestly isn't bad at all. So, I'm a little curious to see what he's trying to get out of this really strong combo. Especially given that there's a possibility that the Wrath of Air Totem doesn't end up surviving. It looks like that's not going to be the case. Curious to see whether or not Mike recognizes that there may be a mind control tech in hand and chooses to play around it. Nope, he's going to commit to play the Beetle. In this case, we're probably going to see something like mind control tech, maybe Acolyte of Pain and Glacial Shard. MC Tech comes down, gets the worst outcome. That's unfortunate. Are we going to see an emote here? Yep, perfect. Glacial Shard is going to go back into the Mountain Giant as sort of expected. Acolyte comes down and he's like, yeah, I can tank 8 more damage. That's not too bad. On the other side of the board, I'm expecting we may see a Dread Inferno come down. Just help sweep away some of this garbage. It makes sure that he isn't taking too much damage. Another viable play would be to tap down to 15 health, alternately play the Vulgar down to 15 health, and then play the Hooked Reaver. And so you're continuing to put up a big intimidating board, but I'm interested whether or not, oh, he is going to continue to go face. And so suddenly this Electro Lightning Storm is going to get some massive value. Could do Electro Volcano too, but I think Volcano draws a lot from Acolyte. I think it may end up being Electro Storm. It will be Storm, and this is guaranteed to clear everything but the Mountain Giant and has a 1 in 4 of killing the Giant. First 50-50 rolls high, second 50-50 rolls low. So one of the Glacial Shards goes in, not a huge loss, and it's an explosive turn. And suddenly, even locks down to 8 health. He does not have any form of heal other than a Shroom Brewer in hand. And if he plays Shroom Brewer, he doesn't really have another great play. You could do like Hellfire Brewer, but in that case, you're still leaving a 4-1 Electro on board. You're leaving a 2-1 Acolyte. And you're going to be on 9 health, which could potentially die to like... oh wait, no. Overloaded by 4. Guess you're technically alive, but it's not a great play. It's not a play that feels great.
I wonder.
And it is going to be Hellfire Shroom Brewer. Makes sense just to clear away so much of his wide board. You see the Life Drinker come into hand. And wait, no, that's going to be lethal. What am I talking about? That is, in fact, just going to be lethal. And that is a very fast 2-0 lead on the back of the Shutterwalk Shaman from Adithya. And we are going to see the final deck from Mike, which is this Taunt Druid I was talking about earlier. Taunt Druid's another deck that can just make some really, really enormous plays. But one of the big weaknesses of Taunt Druid is that it's often reliant on using Witching Hour to resurrect the Hadronox. And so if the Shaman uses Hex at any point of the game, those frogs are beasts and therefore dilute the Witching Hour pool. That's something to watch out for. Pulling Wild Growth in opening hand is definitely what you want to see if you're the Druid player here. Otherwise, you're mostly looking to get Master O card as quickly as possible. That card is absolutely insane here. Alternatively, if the Shaman player is not careful and gets too many cards in hand, it's possible for the Shaman to basically get naturalized and mill one of their key combo pieces, and that could also be a game ender potentially. Nonetheless, Wild Growth on 2, it's always something you're happy to do as Druid, but not as happy as Shaman is to see Prince Keliseth on 2. I'm guessing we're gonna see Ironwood Golem come out. There's no real nuance to this play. On the other side, Acolyte of Pain is another good curve, and with both hexes in hand, that Witching Hour is not going to be particularly relevant this game. Unless you want to pay 3 mana for 0/1 Taunt. Druid has a fairly passive line of play. It's just by default due to Druid's hand being a bunch of cards that you don't really want to play right now. And Serenite Chain Gang is another good play. Always happy to play Chain Gang on curve as Shuttlewalk Shaman. Get closer to your win condition. It just eats some damage. And I don't believe he's contemplating a Coin Earth Shock. That seems like something that's not particularly useful here. There is a fun interaction. If he plays Electro Storm Surge at some point this game, and then holds on the coin for Shutterwalk, the coin will play twice after he does Shutterwalk, which means he can play even more Shutterwalks in one turn. So that could be a fun interaction at some point. Not sure it's ever relevant and will come up, but you never know. And so this is one of the things I was saying earlier, where the Shaman is now drawing, getting close to overdrawing, and it's possible that some cards may be milled by Naturalize, but Shutterwalk's in hand. And so, well, honestly, what's the worst that could happen? We may see the Naturalize come out anyways, just as a way to mill 2 cards. It is one of the only ways that you win this matchup, I believe, as a slow Druid. Unless you get some really, really massive plays off with like Hadronox rezzing amazing things or Oakheart pulling everything. And he is going to go for the naturalized mill plan. It can still get Grumble. Getting Grumble will be pretty huge. An Earthshock is fairly irrelevant, and a Mind Control tech is also irrelevant. Very unfortunate for Druid, especially since that now that he's chucked the Naturalize, he only has 1 Naturalize remaining as an immediate Hadronox activator. And obviously, you don't really want to leave Hadronox out. You don't really want to leave Hadronox out in the open because it can get hexed, and if Hadronox gets hexed, that's like half your win condition gone. Expecting to see Primordial. Could just be a slow hero power play. Could also be a Primordial Drake. One thing I haven't mentioned is that Farsight pulling Shutterwalk is also huge because the 6 mana Shutterwalk, especially with like the Electra shenanigans I was talking about earlier, means that, I mean, you can play like 6 Shutterwalks on your first turn Shutterwalking, or 7 Shutterwalks, which is just completely ridiculous. Let's say we're not going to see a Hex, instead he's going to coin the Hagatha, so we lose some of the Shutterwalks. Instead he can only play 5 Shutterwalks the first turn. Oh, woe be upon him. Which honestly isn't a big deal. Let's see. Oaken summons for gain 6 armor and pull nothing because you've already hard cast both your Ironwood Golems. It's doesn't feel great. Glacial Shard. I'm expecting to see like Glacial Shard come out and maybe even like a Zola. Although one awkward thing is that the Shaman has a lot of cards in hand and Bewitch, the Hagatha hero power, is just going to generate more of them. Blazing Invocation gets a Battlecry minion. You definitely don't want Azalina. We're probably going to see, really, Zola. Zola's a little awkward. Up to 10 cards now. You may have Healing Rain's a good pool. I was gonna say otherwise you may have problems where you're gonna like burn your Grumble, for example, or burn the second Serenite, and that's a way that the Shutterwalk player could potentially still lose the game. If they can go infinite Shutterwalks, the value that a Tundra can potentially get is pretty big. Although, as I mentioned earlier, the Hex issues makes it hard to do it consistently. Glitter Jasper Spellstone coming out in the Zola doesn't feel great, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Manatide is a card you definitely don't want to be playing right now because of your hand size issues. So I'm expecting to see Glacial Shard and potentially a spell. It might even be like Lightning Storm, Glacial Shard Face, like, ugh. No, he's just gonna commit the first Hex. Can't disagree with that. Gets to thin his hand a little bit, plays a Wind Speaker, gets Avalanche, which is a really garbage card, but it is a freeze effect-ish, so could potentially come in relevant. We see the other Naturalize come into hand, and so if you're Mike, you're debating, like, does he have Shutterwalk? Is it worth trying to mill 2 more cards and hopefully remove the win condition, even though it removes your own ability to go big with Hadronox? And honestly, it's something you gotta think about. The alternative play is probably just like swipe hero power, which is not the worst. But one thing in Hearthstone that was probably the most valuable lesson I've learned is that you play to win, you don't play to not lose, and you play to basically your outs in the matchup. And so yeah, I would absolutely be considering the Naturalize. Looks like he's just going for a swipe. Curious that he swipes the other minion. And he is gonna Naturalize, okay. Burns just a Glacial Shard. Serenite gets in hand. Like, this is some pretty good luck. But Grumble is burned! Okay, this gets a little more interesting now. Grumble is burned. Oof. Probably gonna see Serenite come out to start with, see what you get off Bewitch. You can still get Grumble off like Blazing Invocation. Oh no. You can still get Grumble off Menacing Nimbus. Definitely gets a little more interesting with the Grumble burned. So props to Mike for seeing that burning a combo piece may be one of his only outs in this matchup, and we are going to see the Menacing Nimbus. He can't even play the Nimbus right now because actually does Bewitch, no, Bewitch is after. I think it activates after the Death Rattle. Having to dump Avalanche to clear hand space is pretty funny. I am going to play Serenite, then damage one of them, and yeah. Dragon Hatcher comes out, which is great. Gonna pull in big Dragon Taunt. Life Drinker is finally here, which Adithya may just start committing. No, he's gonna Volcano, clear up some hand space, and then Life Drinker will keep him at 9 cards. Yeah, like I totally get why Hagatha's strong in this deck, but I've also always felt that it makes some of your plays a little awkward. And now the Shaman might have to like commit second Hex to deal with the Lich King, for example, which doesn't feel great. Death and Decay is one of the good Lich King cards. Second Hex is gonna come out. We're probably gonna see like Gluttonous Ooze just as a 4/4. Or Farsight. Farsight works too, although you're getting awfully close to Fatigue. This is really awkward with Grumble burnt. Glacial Shard means probably Ooze is my guess? Stormbringer is fun. Well then. And it is gonna be Ooze. Spellstone is not particularly relevant, but also fun. You can do some Electra Spellstone combos. Ulkin summons as a gain some armor, do nothing again. Acolyte is a card you definitely don't want to play right now, same as the Manatide, it's completely dead. Nimbus, we'll see. I believe Nimbus's Battlecry goes off before Bewitch. I'm like 80% sure. Manatide, oh no. Is he gonna Volcano his own board? Or is he just trying to push some tempo now? Oh, he's gonna Stormbringer this. Okay, that's pretty cool. Spirit Singer Umbra, Stargazer Luna, Toki, and Face Collector. I wonder if Umbra has any utility. I don't believe it does. So we're not going to see Death and Decay, it looks like. He's pretty happy to let things just trade in. Why is the Life Drinker glowing? Oh, Umbra. I mean Luna, sorry, not Umbra. But he definitely wants to kill off the Luna and make sure he's not drawing crazy amounts of cards. Yeah. Dumping Hagatha cards. Feral Spirit? Oh, Spirit Echo? Looks like he's just pushing damage. He's like, screw it, if I can't get Shutterwalk to work, I'm just gonna stick some minions in your face. I can get behind that. Hadronox still nowhere to be found. Master Oakheart still nowhere to be found. This Druid's Win condition is nowhere to be found as a result. He just has a bunch of combo pieces and enablers in his hand. I think you may want to Branching Pass the Dig, even though you're facing 12 damage on board. Which doesn't feel great, but it's gonna armor up. I'm curious to see whether or not he will choose to draw a card. No, he's just gonna double armor and play Cube as as a tempo minion. On the other side, I wouldn't be surprised to see like dump more cards. I don't know. This Farsight's off Bewitch, right? I think it is. Pretty sure you drew both Farsights earlier. Chained both Farsights into Shutterwalk.
Perplexing.
The calm before the storm.
Fire Elemental, it's not Grumble, but it's one heck of a minion. Face. I feel like with this board pressure, it's Sleepy Dragon's a good draw. I was gonna say, I feel like with this board pressure, like it's still possible. It's probable that the Druid's gonna just die from minions, but like it's possible with 2 cards left in deck that some fatigue thing happens. Like this is just a crazy, crazy turn of events. Gets enough overload to make the Sapphire Spellstone work. That's pretty cool. It's a lot of fire elementals. He's gonna Spirit Echo another Life Drinker in his hand. At this point, his Shutterwalk's just gonna be like 6 mana, deal 9 damage. Which, that's not bad. I can get behind that. 6 mana, spawn a bunch of 7/7s and deal some face damage. Then, if things go in the right order, Zola can still get him another Shutterwalk. This continues to look really bad for our Druid player here, actually. He just doesn't have enough stuff. Witching Hour can make a 0/1 taunt, but is that really what you want to be doing with your Witching Hour? I don't know. And he's facing down 17 damage on board.
Almost out of cards.
Wait, that's lethal, right? Yeah, 17 plus Shutterwalk is just enough Life Drinkers for lethal, I believe. Wait, there was only 1 Life Drinker? Alright, whatever. This game makes no sense. Wait, why is this... Wait, what? Why is this highlighted? No, it does have both Life Drinkers. Alright, whatever. Good stuff. 3-0. Things happened. Shutterwalk Shaman just doing Shutterwalk Shaman things, and Aditya's gonna advance to the lower bracket round 3, where awaiting him is somebody. The loser of David versus Daniel. Winner of that goes on to face Ben. Winner of that faces the loser of the upper bracket semifinals. Winner of that goes to finals. Good stuff. Yeah. Some jaws caught, some claws caught, or some jaws bit, some claws caught, and yeah, good stuff. I'm gonna go off and do some other stuff now. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, catch y'all later.